Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi there, my name is Webilo Ediali. I'm an author and I'm a mom to two lovely children. My son is 13 years old. His name is Eromasele. We call him fondly Sele. And he has nonverbal autism. He has sensory processing disorder. He has learning difficulties, is visually impaired, and has multiple other SEND, what we call special educational needs and disabilities.
Can you tell us about this book and why you decided to write this book?
The reason I'm writing this book, or I have written this book, and about to release it, is because there has been a massive gap in the market. There has been a lot of books out there that actually touch on send, but in a very light format and focuses more on the autism side of things. This book particularly has a gap because there is a lot of stigmatization that comes with the Black communities and generally the BAME communities. And when I say BAME, I mean Black and ethnic minority and Asian communities, where there has been kind of a lot of denial and lack of acceptance of children that have special needs like autism, ADHD, and are neurodivergent. And therefore, that has affected the family in general, not just parents, but even the child, to be excluded from education and not get the best they could have gotten from the community, from the society, and the world at large. So, kind of limiting the children and living a very myopic life where they could have actually achieved so much more as part of that whole, yeah, if they were just educated and they actually accepted the fact that the child is a sent child.
Would you say is religion, culture? Why do you think there's a lack of
Oh,
stigmatization, lack of awareness?
to be honest, I think it's both. I'm a Christian, and I believe a lot of people are from one have one religion or the other, and to me, this cuts across any form of religion. But the truth is, when people are focused on religion, for example, Christians, I'm using myself as an example. I was at in a sheep for a very long time where I kept saying, God will heal my son. I know, my son is not autistic. I don't believe that, and so many things. But the truth is, as I went down to the root and I wanted to know more, I researched and checked and did the right things like testing, all of that. I came to the conclusion, yes, he is. He is a different child from my other daughter. That's my other child. And I realized that there was no need one lying to myself. It is what it is, and decided to. How can I help my son? How can I be the best mother and he being the best version of himself? And the religious part, makes a lot of people they shut out the reality of the fact of what their child has in terms of the needs that their child has, and it really affects and limits them from being able to live a very full life. And therefore, a lot of people will say, "Oh, God will heal my son. God will heal my son." They lie to themselves. They deny that their child has these needs. They hold back on facilities that could help their child to live a fuller and better life, and therefore it's really kind of like very backward in the way they see the world and perceive things. So for me personally, this message today is believe in God. There's nothing wrong. Pray for your child. Still believe in miracles. I do every day. I wake up saying, I know one day my son who once spoke will speak again. Everything will be normal. And I really believe that inside of me, but it doesn't stop me as a mom from doing right by my child, which is making sure he has access to the right school, making sure, like I'm doing now, there is inclusive education for him while he's at school, making sure he has resources that he can actually play football or engage in other extracurricular activities that are out there for send children that have needs, taking into consideration their needs, and just living a happy life, being able to go where he needs to go, eat what he needs to eat. I struggle with allergies with my son for a very long time as well. So that is something I know firsthand that a lot of children that have SEN needs do have. And it's being able to have the knowledge as well to know where to go to get the right tests to be done, the right information, the right research. And there's so many communities out there to help our kids. It's just really parents need to come out from that box of religion and holding back themselves and their children from reaching out to what the world has to offer. to be honest. You
for
did
those.
mention to me, Francis, I just remember that there was a lady that yeah, she passed recently and she left a 21-year-old boy, and they recently just found out that at 21 he had special needs, and they never got to know about that. And that is shocking, if I recollect you mentioning that. So you want to say a bit more about that?
Yeah, that shows how ingrained the issue is in our society. A lot of families have children or adults with disability,
Very true.
especially amongst African community. They do not want to let access support or tell people what is going on because of stigmatization. We need to do a lot more to educate our people, and that is why I commend you, and I'm very, very pleased to have you today for you to
Thank
share
you.
your experience, because one of the ways we can break down this barrier of ignorance is through awareness. So if you're watching us from anywhere, please, this is a very, very important topic. Share this video with anyone that you know. Disability is something that you don't have to hide. It's not a disease. It's not something that you should be ashamed of. We need to do more to educate ourselves. You've mentioned the word SEN. Now, for someone watching outside the UK, can you explain what you meant by SEN?
So SEN is special educational needs and disabilities, and it has a massive window where a lot of people use the word neurodiversity in general. And what that means is under neurodiversity, you have neurodivergent and you have neurotypical. So neurotypical are children who are born without any needs at all, as in your normal functioning kids. And the neurodivergent children are children born with challenges, and their brain works differently from you and I, or a neurotypical child. They see the world differently, they interact with the world differently, and that is not a bad thing, to be honest, that they
Mhm.
actually do things differently. Because I think we're in a world that is so diverse now, and everyone in their own shape or form kind of exhibits something in that is always different. Sometimes I tap on my hair, sometimes some people pull their hair when they're anxious, some people tap on their feet. All those things can be termed like OCD, as some people might say, obsessive compulsive disorder, without even knowing they're doing it. But you see, the world likes to label people, the world likes to put a tag on people. But for us, send is a very important label, if I should use that word, because it clearly shows these children have needs, and they fall within a subset which actually need, they're able to provide the services they need. Like for my son now, with all the different challenges he has, obviously that helps the facilities here in the UK to be able to know, oh, okay, he has autism, and it means he has ADHD. It means he can't sit still to study. So they find other ways to engage him in studying without necessarily putting him on a chair, which he will never get anything out of because he won't be able to concentrate. So it could be like part of a floor play where they're actually playing on the ground or on a trampoline. They engage him with activities where he will be having fun, but he's learning, rather than putting him in a place where he feels that he's trapped and therefore is more concerned about the environment and nothing sinks in. So it's really about having the strategies in place and having the right resources in place. So for me, I'm an advocate for my boy. I'm always speaking up. I'm always learning. I'm always teaching and sharing things with people that I've learned over the last 10 years of his life, because he was diagnosed when he was 3. So it's really important when you say send, there are those special children. Every child is unique, every child is special, but the way they see the world and perceive the world is different. And that is what makes them so, so special.
So can you, as for the audience, can you educate them about the book you've just written? And before you do that, quick appeal: if you're seeing value for this content, please kindly give this video a like, leave your comment in the comment section. I would like to know what your views are. Do you know anyone who's diagnosed with any form of disability? Are there services that you think that has helped? Are there strategies, anything that has worked well? Is there anything that you're struggling with? I will leave Webby's email and the link, the bio to the link, that book that she just published, so that if you want to read the book, is well research, and you will learn a lot of strategies on that book. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's talk more about your book. What
Okay,
is the title?
so it's called Seller Speaks Without Words. And as the name implies, it is inspired by my son. I have learned so much in the last 10 years, not just from my son, but from interacting with so many other groups, families, parents, and so many other charities and organizations generally that actually are connected to the whole SEND platform and neurodiversity platform. And the book actually was I wrote it because there was a massive gap, as I said, in the market where there wasn't a book that actually reflected the mind of our children and the strategies that we need to put in place or use to actually make sure that they are more embraced in this world and they're more involved and they're empowered to live their best life. The book has over 60 illustrations in it, all colored. It's been illustrated by an award-winning illustrator called Jerko Furman, who lives in the Philippines, and it has close to 6,000 words. Inclusive of those words are things like neurodiverse terminology, strategies, sign language. You have other important factors that explain all the different terminologies that fall under the neurodiversity umbrella, and it teaches children about relatability and acceptance, which is about letting them understand and love who they are and
Mhm.
accept people that are different from themselves. And it teaches adults strategies to cope with children that have needs as well that are different, and what to do, for example, and how to manage other forms of communication. Because in the book, the key protagonist is Black. He has nonverbal autism, and he finds himself lost in a world that is totally like his mind, represents his mind, and he has to journey to find his way back home. That journey is like the journey of life, and it's all the obstacles he comes across as part of that journey and how he overcomes them using different strategies that are nonverbal. So it's teaching people about nonverbal communication, which is 93% of communication. Speech is only, and I say again, speech is only 7%. I'm sure many people will be going, wow, hearing that, because when you're talking physically, like speaking, you're only 7% communicating. 93% is in your movement, your eyes, your visual cues, so many other forms of, even the tone, it's all nonverbal compared to speech. So most of our children that have special educational needs, some of them are nonverbal. So they focus on that 93%. And we need to make sure we're giving them a voice when they actually try to communicate with us, because nonverbal doesn't mean non-hearing. I always say that someone doesn't speak as in using speech doesn't mean they have nothing to say, or doesn't mean they're not communicating. They communicate even when a child is angry, aggressive. When a sent child is, they're still trying to tell you something. That's why they're aggressive. They're trying to communicate something. That's why they're frustrated. If you meet that need, you see the aggression goes away, the frustration goes away. So it's about being able to pick up the cues when they're communicating and being able to help them to be able to live that life that they want to live and get the message out. So that's the book. It's a beautiful book. It's been in the pipeline since 2020, and it's just launched now in 2024.
Thank you, Wemby. If you are seeing value for this content, please kindly share this content with anyone that you know that will benefit. And you can show our appreciation by giving this video a like, subscribe to this channel. I work with CAMS for 3 years. And as a social worker, one of the things I learned is what you've just said. I noticed that a lot of children on the autistic spectrum, toothache, headache,
Yeah.
is linked to challenging behaviors because of their
Mm-hmm.
inability to communicate the pain that they are experiencing.
True.
It can result in challenging behaviors. And I also, especially young boys, puberty also escalates challenging behaviors from
Ooh.
what I learned. Now, these are things that from your book, anyone that reads your book, they will be able to learn. For those that want to buy this book, where can they get it?
So it's currently on a Kickstarter, and it's a platform where you can go in there to, for a little donation or whatever you want to afford, you get a copy of the hardcover book, and there's so many other merchandise that comes with it, like activity books, and there are things like even digital copies of the book. You get things like bookmarks. There are so many rewards. I'm not going to tell you, but there are about 20 to 30 amazing rewards for being able to, if you want to get access to the book. I'm sure, Francis, you will leave a link for our audience to be able to have access to it. It is going to be, it's a one-time exclusive on the Kickstarter because it's just launched. And I will implore you all to just tap on the link, go in there and have a look around, and yeah, and just sponsor us to be able to bring this book and send it into as many schools as possible, libraries, and to all the different charities that will actually benefit from it. That's the major goal, to get the book out to the hands of the children and the adults that need it the most.
A lot of children with disability are excluded from society. Amongst Black and Asian community, this problem is so ingrained because of culture, religion, and lack of awareness.
Hmm.
As you are watching this video, you can help break down the barriers and give access, promote access for children with disability by sharing this video, supporting this channel. Make sure you leave your comment and give this video a like. We need to get the message across to people, especially from our community. A lot of children with disability, they do not have voice. Can you imagine what life would be like if you do not have voice? Please promote inclusion, support this book, and let us get the message across. Together, we can all tear down the barrier which is denying these special children access to services that some of us take for granted. Webby, is there anything you would like to add to what you've already shared?
I just want to leave one key remark for parents or anybody watching out there, and just say, always remember, for children that are nonverbal or children that have special needs, you are the only person they have. You're their advocate, you're their voice, you're the person they look to first if there's any issues or if they are just distressed. So you don't want to let them down. Whatever it takes for them to have access to what they need, put your own personal feelings and emotions aside and realize that you are a caretaker to that child, and you've been put on this earth. Because I always used to say that to myself, Francis. I used to say, why me, at some point? And I used to say, what is it that, even as a Christian, or I used to say, what is it that, why was I given a child that had special needs? But I realized today it was for a purpose. Everything is for a reason. And the purpose is where I'm here today. I've learned so much through him, including patience. It's opened up my eyes to the world in a different way. And it's taught me so many things I wouldn't have ever known. And they're all positive, they are not negative. It's tested my patience, I'm not going to lie, but it's always like any other child. You actually just have to love, and you have to put the weight, and you have to help them to be the best version of themselves. So as a parent, as a carer, as a guardian, I just say to you, please make sure you give your child the best life. They deserve it.
Thank you so much. One last one, please. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to speak directly to any parent who is going through the stage where they are in denial of their child disability. What is your advice for that parent?
I would say, if you're in denial, just like I was a long time ago for a little bit, um, don't just sit down and say, no, my child doesn't have autism, or my child doesn't have ADHD or any other need. Look into what are your child's symptoms, as in what are they showing in terms of behaviors. There are a lot of messages out there, YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere now. There's a lot of research, and find out, first of all, what does my child have, what my child is diagnosed, what is my child's symptoms, what are they showing. Get informed. Don't sit on the couch and just brood all day and live in denial. Get informed. And now, immediately you're informed, try and get a diagnosis. Okay. I know the process now in the UK takes forever, but in the meantime, while you get informed, that empowers you to know at least where to start, because there's so many organizations that can help you out there. I know there's one called Send Mamas, which is on social media, which I'm kind of affiliated to at the moment, and they especially help communities and in families that have special needs kids, but more from a stigmatization and a denial perspective, where they don't even know where to start or what to do, or they have even accepted the fact that their child has just recently been diagnosed with a special need. So I would say to you, reach out to such communities, and try and pull together. They will be able to help you with the right resources that you need. Get those, study, read, and see how you can help your child. And from there, your child can live um, the best life. It is not a life sentence. That is what I would say. It is not. People always think because once they have a special needs child that their world has ended, their life is over, the child's life is over, the child will never be anything good or amount to anything great. That is such a lie. It is so untrue. Our children, especially the ones that have special needs, have unique abilities. That's what I'll call them. And I tell you, it's amazing because the ones that are good are so good. They're like geniuses. They have so many talents. You just need to tap into those talents, and you can start by first accepting that they have the need in the first place so you can start helping them and help yourself as well.
Every one of us has a role to play in ensuring that children with disability live a normal and fulfilling life. The
Yes.
question is, are you ready to play your part? Make sure you share this content with anyone that you know will benefit. Don't forget to give this video a like. Leave your comment in the comment section. Please kindly subscribe to this channel if you find value in this message. Thank you.